Hello and welcome to the woodland on this most important day, National Tree Day, at the beginning of National Tree Week. Now, I as a forest school practitioner and many people like me and outdoor enthusiasts absolutely love trees. And not only because they're really useful and they can create paper and wood and all those building materials that we use, but also that they're really individual and have their own little quirks and differences. So let's see what we can find out about our trees. Now, here's a tree that I'm sure you're all familiar with. It's our spiky broadleaf tree called a holly. Now, the holly can be male or female. So you'll find that a female tree is the one that produces the berries, and a male tree will produce the pollen that will blow through the air and land on the female tree and create those berries. The other interesting thing about the holly is that it's only spiky for about the first 6 to 8 feet. It doesn't bother making the leaves at the top spiky. That's because this tree knows we have no giraffe in this country, so no one's going to come and eat those leaves, but sheep and deer and other animals might graze and eat the leaves down the bottom. That's clever, isn't it? Now, this tree is an oak, and its leaves look like this. Over 150 different insects, invertebrates, mammals and birds use this tree to support their lives, whether it be making a home or hunting or resting in the branches after a long flight or hiding from predators. Now, the tree I'm standing in front of now, which has bark like elephant skin, is a beech. Another old name for a beech is a buck. Now that's where we get the name buck in Ham from. So Ham is a word for settlement, so Buckingham is beech settlement. And that's what its leaves look like. Now I'm standing in the middle of an ash plantation. So all these trees, these thin ones behind me, are called ash, or their other name is Fruxus Excelsior, which sounds a bit like a superhero from Marvel or DC. Now, one of the really cool things about these is they are also male or female. And if you get a little clump of male trees, over a period of time, they'll have a conversation with each other, and some will agree to change and become female, and that way they can still procreate and create more seeds and seedlings. Now that's pretty cool as well, isn't it? Now, this tree behind me, with its beautiful white bark, is the silver birch. Now, this is a really important tree in forest school and bushcraft because it's the one that we use to start our fire journeys with. But what I want to talk about is the fact that this is a pioneer tree, which means if I left the school field and did nothing with it, this would be one of the first trees that grew. And it's really important that that happens because this tree actually puts nutrients back into the ground that other tree species couldn't live without. And that's pretty cool. And another thing is that this tree will give medicine to other trees when they're ill by passing it through their roots into the fungus layer and into other trees. Again, I think that's pretty impressive, don't you? So now we've heard about their differences and their personalities and their little quirks and individualities, let's talk about the science. The fact that trees produce the air that you and I are breathing right now. A square mile of forestry produces 29 tons of oxygen in one day. That is enough, on average, for about 10,000 people to breathe for a day. Not only do they produce oxygen, but also they clean and filter the air that we are breathing around us. Through the leaves and through the branches. They take in the pollutants and the dust and all those things that are floating around in the air that we don't want. That's why when you're in woodland, the air is actually cleaner. Now, I don't know about you and me, but I find breathing quite important, so I am always grateful that our trees are here. So as I say to people at the end of almost every single one of my forest school lessons, make sure that when you move past through the woodland, take a minute to thank a tree, to recognize it's there. Give it a nod, a wink, an elbow, a hug, or just recognize that it's there, and it's that thing that is keeping this planet clean as it is and with the air that we're going to breathe. So, happy Tree Week. Take care.